What inspired you to buy Lock and Load? What was your motivation? What was your inspiration?
You ever hear the slogan "Whiskeys and bad ideas"?
I think so.
I think it speaks for itself. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had a friend of mine. I was starting another software company, and we were playing board games in the conference room of my offices. This is after I left Matrix, and the guy who owned Lock and Load. For those who don't know, when I owned Matrix, the gentleman who made Lock and Load Publishing, and his name is Mark Walker. He came to us, and we made I think his second or third board game. He had originally made a game called Forgotten Heroes, I think Anzac Attack, and he was into board games. We then went and developed our very first board game, which was called Band of Heroes, I think is what we called it. And it was the World War II version of his board game. And anyway, over the years, he came around and said, hey, I'd like to kind of buy my rights back. I want to do what you're doing with computer games. So board games, I said yes. And he went off and did his thing. And then years later, he came back and wanted to know if I wanted to buy it. And I actually said, nah, I don't want to do board games. I did that when I was right out of high school. That's horrible business. The whole production thing is crazy. Now, granted, you're talking the mid 80s. So printing and everything has changed quite a bit. But, it's still a lot more work to me than computer games.
I would have thought like board games would be easier to make than computer games.
Well, there's two benefits to a computer game. Once you're ready, you release it. And once it's done, we were the first company to offer a digital download. And I had people complaining, oh, I'm never going to buy a downloadable game. They actually said this to me. I want to lift the box and feel the weight of the manual. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I said, download the game, play it right there. You can probably download the game fast so you can make a sandwich. And now, of course, everyone does it, and it's considered ridiculous to go into a store anymore. But when we did that, when you do that with a game, once it's up on the server, what's the other cost? Yeah, there's bandwidth and there's a server cost, but you don't have to produce anything. You don't have to make boxes. You don't have to really make manuals. You're done. And if there's any mistake, you spelled the guy's name wrong, you needed to make a patch, all you got to do is make a patch, and you're fully ready to go. In a board game, it's very unforgiving when you make a mistake.
Yeah, because then you would have physical materials, and if you needed to add something, that would be... I've seen some of the pictures from a lot of the board game publishers that I follow, and I see like their stores, and they have like tons and tons of boxes of some of my favorite games, and I love it. But if you run into something like what's going on now with the pandemic, you might have a lot of stock for quite a while.